You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to our first night of an hour-long Isaiah Factor Uncensored. Thank you for joining us and hanging out with us. By now, we used to be on the way out the damn door, making a beeline for bed. Now we have a chance to bring you more stories about people and issues that you want to hear. Dominique Leonard is one of them. He robbed a bank here in Houston back in 2015. After serving time in prison, he is out and now trying to help others make parole and turn their lives around. We return to the location of where that bank once stood to talk to him.
Units for the armed robbery just occurred. We have a male on the line advising that a male black. We're still getting further burnings and request the year 0826 hours.
So, Dominique, the last time you were here at this business, 2005.
Yes.
Take us back to that day when you walked into this building, which was a Kroger, and then you went into the bank and you robbed it.
Yeah, so back in 2005 is where I committed this crime of walking into a bank, which was a Kroger's back then, walked in with a note and gave it to the teller. She emptied a cash drawer out, the 150s and 20s, even 10s, and she handed me the money, and I walked out.
What was going through your head at that time? I'm sure your heart had to be beating.
Yeah.
That was something, because I knew you before that.
Yes.
That was something you weren't used to.
Yes. I think at that time, greed set in. I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't drunk, none of that. Greed set in of wanting more, but wanting more in the wrong way. And not learning at that time to take my time and let God lead me the whole time. So I got in my way of being I would say my own self-man.
I was one of your customers, one of your barber customers, and I couldn't understand why, because you had a business, you had your barber business, you even drove a Jaguar at that barber business. And the next thing I know, I'm looking at you on the news and wondering what the hell happened.
Yeah, and you know, that was an embarrassing moment for me, because everything that God blessed me with the right way, I went and did something crazy and I lost it the wrong way. And so again, I think that at that time, just being in peer pressure, and I can't even say being a black man, just wanting more and wanting that shine, because God has blessed me so much back then the right way. And like I said, I had you as a client, I had Jakarius as a client. I mean, I had great clientele. And again, it was just me being greedy at the time. But I would tell anybody today, it's not worth it.
What is it like being back here for the first time since 2005, standing in front of this place?
Standing in front of this door, I mean the same door that I walked in, it feels different. It's almost like reliving the moment on the other side now, and telling myself, what the hell were you thinking? And then telling myself, never again, because it wasn't even worth it. And so being here today is totally different. It's totally different.
And now, after that, after you were arrested and they eventually caught up with you, you were sentenced to life in prison. Life.
Yes. So I took it to trial, and the jury gave me a life sentence. And the lawyer I had at the time, he didn't represent me and tell the jury who I was. He just gave me who I was at that moment, but not who I was in life. And so the jury gave me a life sentence, which I didn't understand. I thought I was gone for life. But it was a non-aggravated life sentence, which means I have to do 6.5 years before I come up for parole. If I would have had a weapon, or if anybody would have got touched, or anybody would have got harmed, it would have been an aggravated life sentence, which means I had to do 30 years to come up for parole. But it was a non-aggravated life sentence.
And what was it like spending time in prison for this?
It was embarrassing. Every unit I went to.
And really quick, I remember your mom being so proud of you when you had the shop. And before all of this happened, was that a big disappointment?
It was.
To let her down?
To let my mom down, to let my children down, to let my clientele down, to let my employees down. It was just embarrassing, because everybody, in my opinion, knew of me, or knew who I was, or knew me, period. And so to spend that time in prison, it was discipline for me. I mean, I was basically getting whooped every day. Not physically, but I was getting whooped by myself. Just getting whooped and just walking around that prison saying, wow. And everywhere I went to, it was still favor over my life, because, you know, anytime you're a child of God, God is going to follow you wherever you go. So I was still getting blessed while I was in there, but I was getting whooped and saying, man, what was I thinking? What was going on?
For years, I wanted to ask him that question, what was he thinking? And he finally said it was all about greed, not being satisfied by legitimately making his money. Ahead, Dominique discusses his work now, helping people just like him become more than a number to the parole board. His story continues on The Factor Uncensored next. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We continue our story with Dominique Leonard. He is a man who was once a successful business owner before he made the decision to rob a damn bank. Now he tells us how he's helping people behind bars make a stronger case for parole to be released. Eventually, you were released. You have since turned your life around. Just recently married.
Yes.
Also started your own entertainment company with theatrical productions. And you also, most importantly, help people who are in your position now.
Yes.
People who may be up for parole and just don't know how to handle the situation. So what do you do for those individuals?
For those individuals, the family contact me. I find them while they're in prison. And I let the family contact me. And we create custom parole packages for them. And we present them to the parole board, helping this individual be a face before the parole board versus just a number. Because what happens when you go into the prison systems, you're no longer a person no more. Your identity is stripped. And so we create this package, say, hey, listen, this is what we need, get it to us, so we can create John Doe, now a name, and just not a TDC number. So we create custom parole packages for them, and we get them to the parole board, and we represent them.
And so what's in that package that puts a face on it, other than, say, a mugshot?
A mugshot, yes. So what puts the face on it is that everything they do in prison is in that package. Whoever they was before they went to prison is in that package. And that's what we create. We recreate their whole life. You know what I'm saying? Because the crime alone sits above anything. And that's all the parole board sees, is that crime. So you have to get things and elements and family in perspective. Say, hey, we got to create John Doe now as this person who he was before he went to prison. And now we have to create this package for him to give it a face to it and give life to it.
How successful have you been with helping people get out of prison through the parole system?
We have been very successful. Now, no parole lawyer or no parole help can guarantee anybody parole. But I always tell people, if you have the help to hire somebody, do that because it gives you a higher chance. But it can't guarantee you anything.
Right.
But it's been very successful. I mean, we even had clients who made it home who did 28 years, 26 years. One guy I think he did 20 years. And even the guys who do 8 years or 8-year sentence still come home. You know, I mean, some of them have to go to programs, but they're still granted parole.
But you also, as an inmate, would have to play the role, I guess you call it the model inmate, model citizen in prison in order to get to that next step where the parole board will consider you for release.
Yes, so I tell guys all the time and women all the time, if you're in prison, the main thing you can do is stay out of trouble, stay case-free, get into classes, because all these things help you before the parole board. Even the job you're working in there, you have to be a modern citizen in there for them to consider you to be a modern citizen out here in the world. And like I said, nothing but the grace of God that I can do this today. But I was a modern citizen from day one I went in to the time I came home. Because again, I lost who I was by walking through that bank.
Now you're at a different stage in your life, just recently married. Tell me how life is for Dominique now.
Life for me right now is it's rejuvenating. I can breathe again. I can walk again. I can move again. I can smile again. And I can pray again. And I can be who I need to be because God made me that person. So it feels good being back in my element on this side of the field and say, man, God, look at me now. Hey, y'all, look at me now. But I don't brag on me. I brag on what God did for me the whole time.
Is it that grounding that allows you to talk so freely right now about what you have done in the past, back then, that you would have been embarrassed of?
Funny. That's a very good question, because that's true, because back then I would have been embarrassed of it. But if I didn't turn my life around, but because I turned my life around, I can speak about it boldly. I can speak about it proudly of saying, hey, I made this mistake. This is what you don't want to do. This is where you don't want to go. Let me be your testimony of saying, hey, kid, or hey, man, whatever you're doing right now, kill it, because you know what? They got room for you down there.
And when you say mistake, how can you make the person realize that and accept that it was a mistake and that now I have the rest of my life to live because I made that mistake? It is what humans do. Now let's move on.
I can make that analogy because anytime you make a mistake, you can sit there and look at it. And you know it's a mistake because it don't haunt you no more. You don't live with it no more. See, a person who makes a mistake, if he can move on and go higher than what he was before, that was a mistake. But if a person makes a mistake and he can't get back up again, well, is that really a mistake? Or is that who that person is? If I came back home and continued to rob banks, that means it wasn't a mistake. That's who I am. So I'm going to continue to live that life. So the same thing, people on drugs, people who doing certain things, it's not a mistake if you continue to do them same things in life, because it's a pattern now.
And at this point, Dominique Leonard can sleep good.
I can sleep good. I can sleep good, I can rest good, I can get up in the morning and go about my day knowing that I made that mistake back then, but today I'm a whole new person. And I mean, I can even wake up and I can J-pay or write other inmates, say, hey, how you doing? Are you okay? Call their family, what's going on? So with this person, because now, again, I lived that life. I lived the life of walking through that prison 8.5 years, not knowing when I was gonna go home, because I had a life sentence.
Right.
So living that whole life, I can tell them guys in there that, hey, do this here, because one day you will get a chance to be free. I mean,
As we say, look at God. Won't he do it? Turn things around. Powerful story there.